Hey, I'm Dan Thomas, and welcome to the Newbie Woodworker. This is a review of Steve Ramsey's Powered Up course. Well, it's not really a review. If you're thinking of buying the course, then I'm hoping this video will help with that decision one way or the other. But that was too long to put in the title, so I called this a review. I'll talk in general about some of the features of the course, but if you want all the details, you can find them on the website. I'm not going to do all your work for you. I bought the course months ago, and I'll talk about what I think are some of the pluses and minuses. I'll also talk about experiences I've heard from other members. I'll tell you right up front that getting the course was a good decision for me, but I can see how it might not be a good choice for some people. So as I said, I just want to give you some information to help you decide for yourself one way or the other. As a bonus, I've got pictures that some of the members of the Powered Up community were nice enough to share, so you can get an idea of what your results might look like. If that sounds interesting, stick around. I'm warning you now that this video is mostly just me talking. If that doesn't appeal to you, quit watching now. Listen, I'll completely understand. I know a lot of you will have questions when I'm done, and I'm sure I'll get asked the same question over and over again. So, I'm setting up an FAQ. So before you post your questions in the comments section below, check the FAQ first. But if you do post a question that's already been answered, I'll just reply with the link to the FAQ. Sound good? So let's just get this out of the way first. The course costs $197. That's right, $197. Let's just call it $200. For that much money, you could buy almost 10,000 cable ties from Harbor Freight. Or this lovely yellow tool chest. I can't even imagine why this is the only color on sale. Anyway, that's $200 for the course, plus materials and hardware, and anything else you'll end up needing, like a pocket hole jig or whatever. Steve does offer a 30-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee, which is great. But still, $200 is a lot of money considering what you get, and also what you don't get. So what do you get for your $200? Well, you get 5 projects, plus some bonus stuff, and access to a private Facebook group, which I'll talk about later. Each project includes 5 or 6 videos, averaging around 15 minutes each, give or take. You also get plans in both Imperial and Metric, along with SketchUp models, materials lists, and things like that. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that Steve's videos, and everything else for that matter, are top-notch. Nice and detailed. And you know how much I love having SketchUp models. They were a big help for me because it seems I can't build anything without modifying it at least a little. So you basically get everything you need to figure out how to build the projects. Well, sort of. My one big disappointment was discovering that you don't get Steve. And I mean that in the least stalkerish way possible. You get him in the videos and stuff, but you don't get any personal interaction with him. That still sounds stalkerish. Let me put it this way. He calls this an online course, so I was kind of hoping he'd be leading some online classes. Nope. You do get an email address, but it's handled by staff, not Steve. The staff is nice, but they're not Steve. When I ran into problems while building the projects, I wished I could have asked Steve for help. On the plus side, the Facebook group was awesome, and I got a lot of help there. More on that later. The other thing I kept thinking is that I wish Steve made videos like I make them. Now before you instantly flame me, hear me out. You guys know I always try and show things that can go wrong and how to avoid them, or fix them if they do go wrong. Steve doesn't do a whole lot of that. He does in some, but in my opinion, not enough. Or maybe it's just that he didn't cover the things I made mistakes on. The reason I include so many things that can go wrong is because I actually make those mistakes regularly. Steve's been at this long enough that he may not even think about the kind of stupid things I might do. So I suppose I can't really hold that against him, can I? And in case you haven't figured it out, I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that I make better videos than Steve. He's been doing this a long, long time, and that would just be stupid. All I'm saying is I wish he added more troubleshooting for those of us who can't seem to follow directions. So not having direct access to Steve was disappointing, but it's hardly a deal breaker. Let's be honest here. If all I'm getting for the money are a bunch of videos and plans, I could get them a lot cheaper just by searching YouTube, right? On one hand, Steve provides great instructions. On the other hand, is that instruction worth the price? That's something only you can decide, but it may not be the most important question, which you'll see as we go on. Aside from the cost, the biggest factor to me is that the course has 5 projects, are projects I might not even want or need. Think about that for a minute. It's not like I decided I wanted to build a desk, so I went out and found some YouTube videos and maybe bought some plans for $10 or $20. No, I spent $200 and the course tells me what projects to build. That's kind of hard to swallow. I've talked to people who bought the course, but have no intention of building the projects. They were just happy to give Steve the money to say thanks for everything he's done over the years. Listen, I really like Steve. He's one of my YouTube mentors. Not that he knows me from Adam. But I don't like him enough just to hand him $200. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but nope, not $200. Not me, anyway. Other people bought the course with no intention of building the projects either, but they figured they'd learn a lot just by watching the videos and reading the plans. So for them, it almost doesn't matter what the projects are, so long as they teach them valuable techniques. And honestly, I kind of thought the same thing at first. I mean, I bought the course mostly so I could review it and maybe pick up some tips from the videos. I looked through the projects and techniques, and I thought I knew a lot of it already, and the rest of it looked easy enough. I mean, it's just cutting and gluing, right? Okay, big revelation time. Watching or reading about something isn't even close to the same as doing it. You may think that's obvious, but for me, I can pick up things really quickly just by researching it. It's one of the reasons why I'm reasonably good at making YouTube videos. So when I got the course and decided to build the first seemingly simple project, the multi-purpose shop cabinet, I thought I'd knock it out in no time. Steve says it'll take 2 to 4 days, and I'm retired, so how long could it take? If you want to know why it took me almost 3 weeks to build it, read my blog. I'll put links in the description below. That's right, 3 weeks. Now, some of that time was spent making YouTube videos and blogging, but most of that time was spent discovering that the difference between learning about woodworking and actually building something is like the difference between learning how to swing a golf club and actually going out and playing golf. So here's my point. I wouldn't recommend buying the course if you're not going to build at least some of the projects. Unless, of course, $200 is a drop in the bucket for you. But if you do buy the course, I highly recommend that you build at least some of the projects. I'll say it again. If you buy the course, build some of the projects. You will learn something, and you'll be glad you did. I've been blogging while I've been building the projects, so if you want to see what I've learned, read my blog. Like I said, there's links for everything in the description below. One of the big revelations I've had, and others have mentioned this also, is that gaining experience is incredibly empowering. Many people, myself included, were intimidated with the thought of tackling what we saw as complicated projects. I'm not talking about the projects in the course. I'm talking about things we wish we could build, but never thought we'd be able to. But once we started building some of Steve's projects, and we discovered we actually could learn new techniques, we realized that maybe we actually could build some of the projects that had intimidated us. It's an incredibly empowering feeling to look around the shop or the house and see a problem or a need and think to yourself, hey, maybe I can do that. And believe it or not, that's the single most important thing I got from doing this course. It was like having my eyes open, seeing new possibilities that I hadn't even dreamed of. I mean, in between building the first and second project, I built my scrap wood organizer. Okay, it's not the most complex thing, but I doubt I would have even considered building it before because my mind wasn't in the I can build it mode. That empowerment made this the best $200 I ever spent. One of the things I've really enjoyed from the course is joining the Powered Up Facebook private group. Here's some pics from Facebook members that were willing to share. Normally I hate Facebook, or at least barely tolerate it, but the Powered Up group is a really unique group. The people in it are just like you and me, just there to try and learn and to help others. Not a single instance of being talked down to by anyone. And that's because everyone's in the same situation. We know some things, we don't know a lot of other things, and most importantly, we tend to be decent people because that's the kind of people that like Steve in the first place. People pump each other up when someone posts pictures, even if the results aren't perfect. Actually, I should say when the results aren't perfect, because almost nobody does it perfectly. I've developed a lot of friends in the Facebook group, and I'm richer for the experience. So that's all I got. I'm not going to try and summarize it, but I will say this. Go with your gut. Don't forget the money-back guarantee. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and click the notification bell. Leave a comment. And as Steve says, always put the crappy side against the wall.